Up with the Hot Ones Munchie Meal. Picture perfect day to be at the ballpark here in Seattle. Mariners and the Orioles playing the rubber game of this 3-game series. Mariners winning game 1, Orioles winning last night in game 2. Here's what the lineup looks like for the O's today. There are just 3 batters who will hit right-handed. One of them leads the game off for Baltimore. It's the on-base machine in Taylor Ward. Another is Pete Alonso. Alonso now 16 home runs this season. The first-year Oriole, a 5-time All-Star. Blaze Alexander, the final right-handed bat. Everybody else will hit from the left side against Brian Wu, who was trying to have better faith than he had the last time he faced this Orioles squad. That was in his most recent start. 7 runs, 5 innings, and you mentioned the big inning a moment ago, Angie. 6 of those 7 runs coming in one frame.
Yeah, for Brian Wu, the key is going to be to keep the ball down. We know that Wu loves to live at the top of the strike zone with that 4-seam fastball. We want to see that pitch up there. But in regards to his sinker, sweeper, slider, all of those need to land at the bottom of the zone or below. Same story with that changeup as well. We know he's an extreme fastball pitcher, no doubt about it. Here's the good news. Here at home, opponents hitting just $176 against his 4-seamer and 2-seamers.
Now, Wu has been so good at home historically, and the lineup behind him, things have looked a lot different as of late because of all the injuries for the Mariners. Victor Robles gets the start in center field. Julio dealing with a hamstring issue. Mastroboni in left, Canzone in right. Luke Raley is unavailable today. Naylor is back. That is very good news, dealing with a sore right wrist. Has missed the first 2 games of the series, so he is at first, where Mastroboni was last night, and Garver doing the catching.
Day game after night, and Mastroboni had to go out there and take some fly balls in left just to get used to, you know, the wind and his starting position and everything else.
Yeah, definitely a windy day, at least at first pitch. Ward pops this up, and there is Naylor drifting into foul ground. A nice start for Wu and the Mariners. 1 pitch and 1 away. It has been pretty wild, the injuries the Mariners have sustained, and not all of them are IL injuries. The Mariners on the last road trip, they missed Colt Emerson for 3 games because of a back issue. They missed Randy Arozarena for 2 games because of a hamstring issue. He is now on the injured list.
I'm trying to remember ever seeing anything like this. I mean, it's just incredible.
Strike 1 to Gunnar Henderson, who popped a 2-run home run in last night's game. Mariners have missed Luke Raley now for the 3rd consecutive game. He is on the bench, technically available, but we don't expect to see him today. A back issue and now flu-like symptoms for Raley. In the air out to Robles, playable in front of the warning track. Looking up into that Seattle sunshine. 2 down.
Yeah, I asked Dan Wilson about what Luke Raley will be doing today, and he wasn't even sure that he was going to be able to swing a bat. I mean, pregame.
Yeah, so the Mariners have 4 men on their bench and really just 2 available today. If you consider that Raley and Julio theoretically unavailable, that leaves them with 2 right-handed bats in Joe and Refsnyder. You're looking at half the bench right there. Here's Adley Rutschman. Fastball for a strike. Rutschman switch hitting catcher, DHing today. Wu ahead 0-2. Now Wu, one of the great first pitch strike throwers in the entire game. He's thrown a first pitch strike to the first 3 batters that he's faced in the driver's seat here to Rutschman. And he gets him on 3 pitches, a slider that just disappears. First strikeout for Wu, who retires the side in order. Shane Bond looking at a Mariners lineup that has just 2 who will bat right-handed. J.P. Crawford leading things off. Cal and then Josh Naylor. Good to see him back in the lineup. Dom Canzone has been on an absolute tear this month. He homered last night, as did Cole Young. Garver doing the catching. Mastroboni rounding things out for the Mariners today. Shane Baz, hard-throwing right-hander up on the mound. First-year Oriole. And he misses just down and away on a kind of uncharacteristic fastball at 93 miles an hour to get his afternoon started. And Baz averages 96 on the fastball. Is an upper 90s kind of guy and has been that for his career. Maybe he'll just take a few pitches to get loosened up. He turned 27 years old yesterday. 1-1.
Hopefully with the day game after a night, he was up late celebrating that birthday.
He's making just his second career start against the Mariners. The Mariners saw him last September. He pitched very well and went 6 scoreless. Did that with his former team, the Tampa Bay Rays. Traded this offseason within the division. Don't see that too often. On the ground, and Alexander was positioned well. There's out number 1.
As far as what the Mariners are going to see, you're going to see that four-seam fastball more than any other pitch, but right there is that knuckle curve. It's been a huge weapon for him for recently. 18 strikeouts against that knuckle curveball alone in his last 5 starts. For the lefties, Aaron, between the fastball and the knuckle curve, lefties will see one of those 2 pitches nearly 80% of the time, so they may just choose to eliminate that cutter and that sinker.
Cal goes around trying to check the swing on that curveball. The lefties have gotten to Baz a little bit this year. They're batting close to 290 against him. Overall, Baz has done a nice job keeping the ball in the ballpark. In fact, he's given up just 3 home runs his last 6 starts. And an ERA under 2.5 in that stretch of time. And the question with Baz has never been about the stuff. It's just, can he throw enough strikes? Can he stay healthy? He was healthy last year.
And that's been a big focus for him lately, is just trying to win pitch 1, trying to throw strike 1 and then go from there. Get early contact so he can get deep in games.
Yeah, he would be on what you would consider the lower part of the tier of first pitch strike rate, and that has not been a strength of his this season. More of a stuff guy. I mean, you look at his arsenal and everything is firm.
Yeah. Recently, you talk about this turnaround. He's just simplified that approach. He's trying to get ahead in counts, focusing only on the pitch in front of him.
Cal challenges this, and it looks like it is a wise challenge.
The pitch is called a strike. The batter is challenging.
Cal wasting no time. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Yes.
Pitch is the ball. Seattle has 2 challenges remaining.
Cal saw that well.
When you know, you know.
On our EQC tracer. And Basayo trying to make that into a strike.
Yeah, he's like, that knuckle curve's got a lot of break, but not that much. Or actually that much. it broke below the zone.
1 out, nobody on. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cal. And he strikes out on a cutter over the plate. First strikeout for Baz early on today. And here is Josh Naylor, missing the last couple of games. Dealing with a sore right wrist. Man, we saw him so many times on that road trip take a swing and have to step out and really need some time. Not just your kind of courtesy, give him 10 or 15 seconds, but really was in a lot of pain. Basayo, ooh, he just able to get that challenge in time possibly.
Pitch is called a ball. The pitcher is challenging.
So a couple of early challenges this inning.
Pitch is a strike. Baltimore has 2 challenges remaining.
On both sides winning the challenge.
I saw Basayo go to his helmet, but it was Baz first. A pitcher challenge.
Don't see that too often. One ball and 1 strike to Naylor. So Naylor getting the last couple of days off, trying to get that wrist right. He also fouled a ball off of his shin the last day of the road trip Sunday in DC that was remarkably painful, and Naylor needed a lot of time just to get back in the box. He's really been banged up, as have so many of the Mariners. Well, this is out towards the gap, and it touches down for a base hit. Cut off in front of the track, now bobbled, and Naylor easily gets into second base. That was Taveras in right field. Just kind of whipped on that. And Naylor, welcome back to the lineup. He's in at second base with 2 outs.
Well, this is the best medicine. This is a changeup that he's out in front of, and I'm not exactly sure why Leote tried to barehand this ball. I mean, that is just absolutely bonkers. It allows Naylor to get into scoring position with 2 outs.
It is a single and an error on Taveras. Here's Canzone. What a month it has been for Canzone, even longer than that, really. Our KeyBank Key stats: 7-game hit streak for Dom Canzone, batting .391, with plenty of pop to go along with it. He gets ahead 2-0. 11 home runs now for Canzone after homering in the 9th inning last night.
I talked to him about that home run. I was like, I mean, you guys were all over him. I mean, Helsley, 2 pitches, 2 home runs. I said, was this something that you probably knew? Did you have a conversation with Seitzer about what you thought you were going to get? And he said his fastball was pretty flat last night, and they took advantage of it.
Homer on back-to-back pitches in the 9th inning from Helsley. 3-0. Taking ball 4, just missing upstairs. Canzone, a 2-out walk. So 2 outs and 2 on. And here comes Cole Young. Home run last night for Cole, his 6th this year. He takes wide. Now, Boz seems like a guy that you really want to get into the strike zone.
Yes, because he's going to spin everything out of the strike zone if he can locate within.
This ball lashed down the line, left field, fair ball. Naylor rounds third. This ball finds its way towards the corner. Canzone is held. Young with an RBI knock into left. A run-scoring double, and the Mariners take an early 1-0 lead.
This is just a really good approach against a guy like Boz, who spins it so much. Take his best fastball the opposite way, and that's exactly what he does. Just a little bit of an inside-out swing, shoots this down the line, and what's going on in the outfield with the Orioles today? They're having trouble finding the handle on the baseball.
Now, Young has been in the mix so many times this year. The game has found him with men in scoring position so often this season, and he has been very good more times than not in those moments. He's at second, Canzone at third. Here's Cole Emerson. Mariners a chance to hang a crooked number here in the 1st inning on Bonds. Emerson takes outside. Well, it was 2 fairly quick outs from Bonds against Crawford and Cal. Then Naylor's single helped out by the air, a walk on 4 pitches, then the double. Things happening fast all of a sudden. Hit hard through the right side, a base hit. Canzone is in. Young speeding towards the plate. He slides. He's safe. It's 3-0 Mariners. Cole Emerson drives in 2 more.
Colt told me if I'm on time for the fastball, I'm on time for everything else. And he knows he's probably going to see that pitch right there, that knuckle curveball. On time for the fastball, adjust to the curveball. So again, if you're thinking, I'm going to take that fastball the opposite way, that gives you the length in your swing to be able to hit that breaking ball, that knuckle curveball to the right side. You still have to think, I'm hitting the breaking pitch opposite way, but you will end up pulling it. Fantastic piece of hitting from Cole Emerson.
Here's Garver. The insurance you get brought to you by Pimco Insurance. Shane Baz, highest opposing slugging percentage on off-speed pitches this year. They are slugging .500 on something other than a fastball from Baz this season. Among the highest in baseball. 0-2 quickly on Garver. First time that Baz has seen somebody bat from the right side today. So 3 runs in for the Mariners. They get that crooked number, now looking for even more. Emerson at first base, 2 down. Emerson on his way to second. Pitch is high. Throw down. Tag applied. Safe. Colt Emerson swipes his first bag in the show.
This is actually a pretty nifty throw to the first base side of second base, but Gunnar Henderson can't hold on to it. There you go. Colt on the board with stolen bases.
Yeah, about the only thing he hadn't done so far. There aren't many guys who get their first triple before their first bag.
That's a good point.
That's kind of a hard thing to do. It obviously can happen. It happened that way for Cole. 2-2. Another man in scoring position for the Mariners. They appeal. He does not go, and the count goes full to Garver. Three-two. It is challenged. That's a good pitch. Fastball
The
middle
pitch was
end.
called a ball. The catcher challenging.
This looked like it could end the inning, and it
Pitch is
will.
a strike. Baltimore has 2 remaining.
A challenge-heavy inning and a run-scoring inning for the Mariners. They get 3. 2 of them thanks to Franciscan Health with us in the ballpark today and up in the booth conducting some prostate cancer screenings. And Paul, man, we got a lot to talk about. But first of all, you are one of our few guests who has ever made his way to the booth early. So you got to, you come down right here, you sit down, and all of a sudden the Mariners put 3 runs on the board.
We're going to need you to stay.
All right, I can do that. I can do that.
I mean, this is off to a very good start to your Mariners broadcasting career. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right, so tell us about some of the good work you are doing with Virginia Mason Franciscan Health, because I think a lot of people would be kind of curious about how you are conducting prostate cancer screenings during a ball game.
Well, you know, this is our 3rd year that Virginia Mason Franciscan Health has paired up with the Mariners. And this is Virginia Mason Franciscan Health's commitment to reaching out to the community. We're going to go where the patients are. This is something that we feel is very important, not only for early detection, which obviously comes out with better results, but we want to go where those patients are, where those people are, where our community is.
So I'm guessing that's how a baseball game kind of folds into that for a prostate cancer screening. But also tell us what that process is like here at the ballpark.
You know, that's a very easy process. All you've got to do is have a ticket, go up to the 3rd floor, and we're doing a blood test. It's very quick. It's very easy. It's free. They don't have to have an insurance card or any coverage, and we're going to get those results to you.
I'm glad that you explained that to me, because I was really wondering how this was going to work today. It's a blood test.
It's a blood test.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah, I would imagine when people walk by and they see that you are doing these tests here at the ballpark, some of them maybe raise an eyebrow and get a little skeptical, and then you explain it to them and they realize it's pretty easy after all.
Yeah, it is easy. And, you know, this is something that over 300 35,000 men in the country are going to be diagnosed with in 2025, with over 35,000 men dying of this disease. So this is a really important. It is the #1 cancer in men today. It's the second leading cause of cancer death in men in the United States.
And like breast cancer or anything else, like I think so many times people want to say, like, if I just ignore it, it doesn't exist. But that's not the right mindset to have.
That's not
early detection is key, right?
Early detection is key. We want to take the runner out at first. That's what we want to do.
I love it. Good.
That's what we wanted. This is not a 9th inning deal. We want it at first base. And
this guy's a natural here.
Early detection, better outcomes.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that on your own? That was pretty good.
That was.
Maybe.
Hey, the Mariners' relationship with Virginia Mason Franciscan Health has been fantastic over the years. You've got the Mariners polo with Virginia Mason Franciscan Health on the sleeve. I know Dan Wilson has been very much involved with that as well. This has been a great partnership over the years.
Yeah. We've enjoyed it. We felt it's been very successful. You know, Virginia Mason Franciscan Health is committed to the community. We want to help. We want cancer awareness. We want early detection, and we want to make a difference.
Give me an idea of the broader impact that you hope that these very unique screening events are going to have.
You know, what we really want to do is we want to bring it out to the public that, hey, there are screening events. This is simple. You know, a lot of people put this off. A lot of people say, yeah, I'm going to get around to it. But when they're out here with their kids, they're out here with their spouse, their significant other, they're getting urged. They're saying, hey, let's go do this. And you got to. PSA is not accepted by all primary care docs as a screening tool. So this is very important for us to make sure people understand prostate cancer, how prevalent it is, and how important it is to catch early.
Paul, it is wonderful to have you with us in the booth and at the ballpark and for spreading the good word. And we know you got a lot of work to do today, but we hope you can take a moment or two and enjoy some of this great game.
We appreciate being here, and this is something we look forward to doing all the time.
Well, I bet. Paul, thank you so much for stopping by.
Well, thank you.
That's wonderful stuff. Dr. Paul Kozlowski from Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. Another strikeout, making 3 straight for Wu dating back to the first inning.
So many times when hitters are facing Brian Wu, you're going to be guessing 2-seamer or 4-seamer. You can't hit both of them, and he was looking, I think, 2-seamer, and then just got off guard with the rise in that 4-seamer. Ooh, that bat was almost snapped in half.
Basayo thought better of it. Leody Taveras, switch hitting outfielder. First time that Wu has not thrown a first pitch strike today. Taveras, the 6th batter in the order. And a challenge here from Garver. That looked like it was in the zone. Boy, we have been a busy day behind home plate with the ABS system.
Pitch is strike. Seattle has 2 remaining.
The whole goal is to get it right, and that's what we're doing here today. Seeing a lot of T-Mobile magenta at the same time.
Boy, 5 challenges combined already in the 2nd inning. And they've all been right.
Yeah, day game after night, everybody's just getting up to speed here.
One and 2. Garver, by the way, came into this one with the 6th highest winning percentage, if we can call it that, for catchers using the ABS system. Only 5 catchers have been better so far this year. And that's by just percentage points. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Wu 6 up and 6 down. The last 4 straight retired via the punch out on a gorgeous day in Seattle. Night presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort, August 7th. You can watch, you know, it says to say watch Ichiro, Mike Cameron, and more. compete in an epic post-game competition. Mariners.com/derby. Hyphen, do you feel slighted by that?
Yeah, a little bit, especially after the epic graphic we had on that road trip as well. With the, by the way, apparently that was Luke Raley's arm. If you remember that Photoshop picture, I'm like, man, he's jacked. Yeah.
Well, it was you, though.
Well, it was a picture of me.
You.
It was a picture of me. Obviously, it wasn't. They were trying to. I thought it was. There it is.
Look at that.
Apparently, that's Raley's arm. There's no
way that's. I mean, I feel like I'm being mean saying that. That's not.
I get
that is not a baseball player's arm.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Robles, base hit, left field.
He just tried to find the biggest jacked left-handed set of guns they could find and Photoshop your head on it. I'm here for it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
There's no call me Supermo. Now, Hyphen, I happened to walk by in the press box today when another great lefty, Charlie Furbush, asked you if you've been taking any swings in preparation, and the answer remains no. Hyphen, the clock is ticking, my friend.
Goldie, you didn't hear me all the way. Last night it was about 11:30 at night, and I decided to take some dry hacks in the living room. I'm not joking. I was watching some quick pitch on the MLB channel, watching some quick pitch, and I was watching some swings, taking some dry hacks. Sonny, my dog, was looking at me like, "What are you doing?" So I just get out of the way.
Did you get batting gloves on, or we got blisters all over our hands today?
I do have some batting gloves incoming. Franklin have sent me some custom batting gloves. How about that? So, showtime.
Are they careening golds?
No, they're not. They're actually not. But they are pretty sweet. They are pretty sweet. I designed them myself, so I'm going to bust them out for this home run derby. Looking forward to it.
Every home run derby champion always credits their living room dry swings as the reason why they won. As Mastroboni shoots a single up the middle, back-to-back knocks to begin the Mariners' second. They've really been on Shane Baz. He sat down the first two batters he faced today, but since then it's been a ton of traffic.
There's a cutter up and in that Miles Mastroboni hits back up the middle, and that's his thought process. Just trying to use the big part of the field.
That's interesting about Shane Baz too. You mentioned Goldie, lefties have had their way with him in the month of June. One thing Chris Bassett has kind of been, his mentor this year. Joining his new team, Chris Bassett said to him, "Hey, stop trying to mess around with that fastball, man. You throw hard, you can get up upper 90s, let it eat, get on the attack." We've seen today where he's been in some of these leverage counts. He's gone to that cutter, back to that breaking ball.
Crawford pops this up. Infield fly in effect. Now, when you say messing around with the fastball, do you mean nibbling with it, not throwing it as much?
No, trying to vary it. So he was messing with, like, towards the end of April, he was trying to mess with sinking it a little bit more, because when Chris Bassett said when you watched him in the past, he said, man, when you're at your best, you can just elevate and just be on the attack inside the strike zone. He goes, I'm not seeing that. And so all of a sudden he was in a bullpen session, he was trying to mess with a sinker grip and trying to mess with the cutter, and Chris just said, look, I've spent spring training with you right now, and we're already a month into the season. You got to get on the attack with that hitter, and even the velocity's down a little bit today. I don't know why that is, but maybe it's trying to be too careful to get good counts. The Mariners are taking advantage, but a lot of lefties in this month have been doing the same thing.
There's no doubt he's always had the raw stuff to overpower hitters, but his success lately, to your point, Ryan, has been his ability to command it. It's particularly with that knuckle curve. He's really tried to get basically two different release points with that pitch so that he can land it in the zone and that he can also get below the zone with it once he gets batters to 2 strikes and tries to get the chase.
2-0 to Cal. A long throw down to second, and Robles is safe. 3-0 on Cal Raleigh.
Well, if he's trying to get 2 different release points, well, then guys are picking it up, because that is a clear way, especially if you throw that hitter at the top of the strike zone and you're starting to mess around with that release point.
Well, he says there's definitely days where it doesn't feel amazing or perfect, but as a whole, it's been working for him this last month.
His last 6 starts, a 2.39 ERA. He's been excellent as of late. .30. Hyphen, do you think a hitter could could realistically pick up 2 different release points on the same pitch?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, and that is, again, we talk about Emerson Hancock all the time. That he's got that lower arm slot. That's where the changeup was coming out of, was that 13 degree. And and so we talk about the fact that, I'll use him as an example, he was higher up, 4-seam, breaking balls, trying to get the fingers on top of that breaking ball, so naturally it's going to rise up, and has done that throughout his outings too, where all of a sudden that hand will rise up to try and be a little bit more of a natural spot. But man, lefties, especially too, if you're in a situation, if you're a guy that can manipulate your arm slot or your release point, different pitches, different counts, man, it is tough to do. But if you're in a situation where you're trying to mess around with it or intentionally, man, it can give away a ton to the hitter.
Well, he fell behind 3-0 to Cal and then strikes him out on a good curve. So 2 outs, 2 on. And here is Josh Naylor, who singled his last time up. Mariners got a 3 spot on Boz in the first inning.
I think now too, the last couple of years, pitchers are in a situation where they can use technology to figure out and to profile what pitch, what spin, what axis is the best in what release point. Back in the day, it was more of just a feel thing. You were just praying that it was a good option.
This is slicing towards Ward near the line, and he makes the catch. The Mariners got the first 2 on, but can't bring them home. And after 2 innings, the Mariners and Brian Wu lead 3-0. He welcomed 2 cancer patients, in particular 12-year-old Connor from Kent and 11-year-old Charlotte from Edmonds. They presented the new shoes to Brian, who was very moved and very emotional. All the kids put their initials on the bottom of the shoes, and each child, each cancer patient, a Mariner fan, got to decorate and draw on just a small portion of each pair of shoes, and Brian is wearing those today. Pretty special stuff, and I'm getting the sense that for Brian Wu, it was a bigger deal for him than it was for those young fans.
Yes, this is just well done, though, on all sides from Brian Wu, and for these kids, and their artwork is just fantastic, and the people at Children's Hospital are just incredible, and they're some of the very best in the entire world. My son ended up having Kawasaki's disease when he was under 1 year old, and it was only because Children's Hospital is one of the best in the entire world that they were able to diagnose such a rare disease so quickly and give him the treatment that he needed. So I just can't say enough about what Children's Hospital, the people over there, do, and I know Wu appreciates being a part of this.
Very special stuff. 5 consecutive strikeouts for Brian Wu. That matches a career best. 3rd time he has done that. He's been living upstairs with that fastball. The appeal, he does not go. Blaze Alexander, the batter.
And a big reason why that fastball at the top of the zone, or even we've seen swings above that zone, is because Brian Wu has done such a great job today of getting ahead of these Baltimore hitters.
He's gotten strike 1 to nearly everybody. One. Mariners leading 3-0, scoring 3 runs in the first inning off Shane Baz, all coming with 2 outs. Oh, nice play. J.P. Crawford near the bag, on the money to first base. 2 outs.
He looks good over there. J.P. Crawford going down to a knee, get this one, throws a strike over to Josh Naylor, and I asked J.P. Crawford, I'm like, did you get 1 or did you get 2 chest bumps from Perry Hill yesterday? He said 2. He's looked great over there at third base.
Been there every game this series. Holiday slaps this deep down the line, and it's a fair ball. And it's a ground rule double. Mastroboni couldn't get there, and Jackson Holiday, who homered last night, has the Orioles' first hit.
The ball always tails towards the line. If you got a lefty hitting it, it's going to tail. If you got a righty, it's going to hook. And Miles Mastroboni makes the right decision there as he's coming in close proximity to the wall there to go down to the slide. Let your lead leg crumple if you need to into the wall. It was going to be a double either way if it landed.
So runner in scoring position for the first time today. It's the first base runner period for the Orioles. Top of the order, Taylor Ward. I mean, Wu today hasn't just been pitching at the top of the zone. He's been pitching a foot up at the top of the zone.
Yeah. Again, I think that a lot of teams were starting to sort of ambush that fastball, thinking, okay, I'm going to bet on the four-seamer or I'm going to bet on the two-seamer. And I think you're starting to see these swing decisions being made earlier by these Orioles. And then all of a sudden, you know, halfway through the ball, they're picking up the four-seam spin, but they have no idea where that ball's going to end up.
He's gotten some swings and misses at those pitches well up out of the zone. Behind 2-1 here. Broken back grounder. Emerson has it. Mariners shortstop on to first base. Wu strands that two-out double. To the bottom of the third, middle part of the order. Canzone, Young, and Emerson all due up. Dom Canzone leads things off for the Mariners. 3-0. All three runs for the M's coming in the first inning off of Shane Baz. Long ago, Baz was the 12th overall pick in the draft. He was drafted by the Pirates, traded to the Rays, and in a deal that, quite frankly, I forgot that he was a part of. He was in the Chris Archer deal that probably is better known for somebody else who was sent to Tampa Bay in that same trade, which was Tyler Glasnow. But they got Baz and Glasnow in the Chris Archer deal, and the Rays got the best possible years for Archer. He did not do exceptionally well once dealt to Pittsburgh. So obviously we all know how the Rays operate and how great they are at developing pitching, and they were able to get two really unique and good starting pitchers in both Glasnow and Baz in one deal, which is pretty remarkable.
And then you see Baz get flipped to the Orioles this past December for 4 prospects. So maybe we'll be talking about the 4 prospects that they traded Baz for this time around and what they went on and did.
Well, there are a few teams where if they call you and inquire about one of your pitchers, it would make you kind of pause and say, you know, maybe we should reevaluate our own guy. This is gobbled up by Henderson, 2 outs. I'd say the Mariners are certainly one of them. And hey, the Mariners and the Rays have obviously made deals and pitchers have been involved. So yeah, it's not like you don't send a guy away and it's impossible that he becomes something better than what he was. But there are certain teams who just can really develop pitchers. And yeah, if the Rays called and said, hey, we're looking at this guy who's not doing very well for you, maybe I'd hold on to him and see if you can figure it out after all.
What do they say? The first rule in negotiations is don't say the number. You know, they're like, just don't say the pitcher, right? And then just wait for them to say it. You know, maybe we can take him. We can take a look at that. We might be able to make that work.
Two outs, nobody on for Emerson. Good take just beneath the knees at 97. I'd say that velocity ended up coming around from Baz today. His first few fastballs were in the low 90s. But that is course corrected. Julio down today, hamstring issue last night. I would say Julio is not available off the bench.
Judging by his attire today.
Julio has played in every game this year. He played in every game but 2 last year. So very rare afternoon with Julio not in the lineup.
That's the thing you think about. The guys that are hurt, they've been the most durable for the Mariners. Arozarena played 160 of last year's games. Rodriguez, you just mentioned, played 160.
If it is fair, it's foul.
Keep going. Cal Raleigh played 159 of 162. J.P. Crawford 157 of 162. So when you think about the guys that have been hurt this year for Dan Wilson, they have historically been, some of the most durable guys. And it's just, it's been devastating for this Mariners team, particularly the offense. And then we haven't even talked about the bullpen.
3-2. Ooh, yep, good challenge coming here from Cole Emerson. That looked low.
Called a strike. The batter's challenging. Call's overturned. Seattle has 2 remaining.
Ball 4, 2 out wide.
I like that. And that's the thing about the ABS challenge, Aaron, is that it is based on you. It's based on you. So wherever you go, home, away, every single ballpark, your strike zone is uniquely your strike zone. So, once you know that strike zone, I mean, the ABS can really be your friend as a hitter. You know what's above and you know what's below.
Puts a man on for Mitch Garver. Our home plate umpire, Tyler Jones, made his major league debut last year. He's a AAA call-up umpire. Now, they use the ABS system at AAA as well, but not an everyday major league ump. And the ABS has proven very effective for both sides early on today. I wonder how umpires feel about it, because on one hand it can be a little embarrassing if there are 5 or 6 or however many challenges that you get wrong, but on the other hand, when you go back to the hotel tonight, you didn't cost anybody anything, and that would probably give you some great peace of mind.
And that's the whole point, is you just want to get it right. And I think that everybody can walk away, if you get it right, feeling good about the outcome.
Now, if a team runs out of challenges, now you're on your own. But, yeah, I would think that avoiding the mistakes where you really feel like you cost somebody, that has to be one of the worst feelings for any umpire. 1-2. A swing and a miss. That does it for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 3rd. Mariners take the lead to the 4th. Beautiful day in Magnolia for Brian Wu. So that gives every player a little bit of perspective when you are caught up in the fishbowl of a major league season. Ball misses down, ball 1 to Gunnar Henderson. (2-0). Meat of the order due up here in the 4th for the Orioles. Rutschman and Alonso due up next.
Guys, you're talking about Brian Wu and that fastball. I think it's important with him. We saw this against that start against the D-backs. Is just showing those 2 breaking balls, the sweeper and the slider. That strikeout to Adley Rutschman that first inning just kind of puts that thought in the back of the minds of everyone, especially when he walks back into that dugout, to say, all right, be on the lookout for it. You can see the swings, man, just so far behind the fastball and so off balance. because of that break ball. It makes such a difference. I think we forget how good that pitch is. Even last year too, everyone talks about the elite fastball and everything else, but man, when you look at swing and miss rate, you look at some of the numbers with the breaking ball, man, it is elite as well. I think it's so important for him to show that pitch in between some of these fastballs.
Well, there was another fastball up that Henderson fouled back.
Especially the first time through the order, right? You know, Adley had it, and then Basayo had a situation where he had a couple breaking balls early. You could tell he was just way behind a fastball that is tough to begin with.
3-2 the count to Gunnar Henderson.
And then you look back at that Taveras at bat where he threw him the sweeper. Once he got him to 2 strikes, he was so far out in front of that pitch. But you know what we're seeing today with Bryan Woo is he's really getting the separation with his 2-seamer, his 4-seamer in regards to the location of those 2 pitches, working north and south, and then all of a sudden adding that little element east and west.
96 right over the plate, and he strikes out Gunnar Henderson. 6th strikeout for Woo.
This is a 4-seam fastball, and this is something that Woo has struggled with. You know, the contact rate, you know, in the middle of the zone. Last year he could get away with that a little bit more. This year he's not been as successful with balls right there in the middle of the plate, but that just goes to show how deceptive and what's going on in that hitter's mind when he can get that pitch by him.
Does the count play a factor in that from the pitcher standpoint?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, once you get to 2 strikes, you are in swing mode. I mean, before 2 strikes, you have a plan. You have a plan. Maybe you're eliminating a couple of pitches. You may be fighting and looking in a zone as a hitter. But once you get to 2 strikes, now you got to cover it all. And that's a really unsettling place to be when you face a guy like Bryan Woo, who's going north, south, east, west.
1-1 to Rutschman.
I often say it from a hitting perspective. If you're trying to hit everything, you're not hitting anything.
It's a lot to ask for. 1 out, nobody on. Robles sizes it up, comes in and puts it away. 2 outs. If you've ever wanted to know what it's like to look like Bryce Miller, all you have to do is swing by July 4th. Blue Jays are in town. First 10,000 fans, thanks to Coca-Cola, will take home this 4th of July patriotic bucket hat giveaway. Mariners.com/tickets.
That's a good look. I mean, the mustache, the bucket hat, ties it all in nicely.
Hyphen, if USA wins tomorrow, you gonna rock a bucket hat the next day?
I'll take that bet. Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
I don't know who's wearing the Socceroos jersey if you win.
Well, listen, if and I plan on this, if when Team Australia, the Socceroos, come out victorious, I'm rocking the Socceroos green and gold tomorrow night at the game. How about that? I'm not wearing the official Mariners polo for on-screen. You know, I'm wearing one of those right there. There's my boys.
Yeah, you couldn't get them better tickets.
Well,
what do we got here, man? Too many of them?
They're Aussies. They want to be out in the sun. I got them somewhere they can
next to
work
the cheap
on the
beer.
tan. That's right. Yeah. The beer's cheaper wherever they sit up there.
We got the whole crew here.
It does look like there's been some coordination, doesn't it?
Going to the team store as well, grabbing that Mariners hat.
Yeah, we got the Socceroo jersey and the Mariner hat here. Front row. No way that guy knows siphon. No chance. 2-1. Flattens out for JP. He's got it at third, gathers, and Naylor takes care of it on the other end. Woo goes right through Hinder traditions. Mariners are home almost every Father's Day, it seems like, and always a fantastic Father's Day Sunday crowd here at T-Mobile Park each and every year. Can we guarantee sunshine?
I can't believe how great the weather is. You know, it's the joke here in the Northwest that summer doesn't start until July 5th, right? Right after July 4th, which, you know, so often is cloudy and not gorgeous. But summer certainly seems to have arrived early here in 2026.
Robles leads it off. Basayo really sets up away, and the pitch goes in the other batter's box, 1-2.
I looked Sunday. It's going to be gorgeous.
Guaranteed.
81 degrees. Let's go.
Did he go? No, he did not. 2-2.
At least where I live, it's going to be 81 and sunny. Right. My commute was bad this morning, but I think it translates to Seattle.
Strike 3. Bottom inside corner at 97. How about a message from the Washington beef farmers and ranchers?
Win or lose, it's really about how you feed the game, right? Together, we bring more. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Here's Mastroboni. Speaking of commutes, tomorrow will be quite the day down here in Soto. Across the street, Australia versus USA at noon. And then the Mariners playing tomorrow night at 7:10 against the Red Sox with post-game fireworks to follow. So a lot of people taking in two really fun events tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Watch party across the street at Victory Hall.
Not your traditional doubleheader.
Yeah, so give yourself a little bit of time. Be a lot happening down here. Two and one to Mastroboni. Cracked out to center field. Hanging up there for Colton Cowser. 2 outs. J.P. Crawford, the batter. JP lifts this out towards right center. Cowser to his left, making sure everybody stays clear. Makes the catch for out number 3. Good look at Myrtle Edwards Park. Mariners enjoying the final game of this series. A chance for ballots and help send your favorite players to the Midsummer Classic in Philadelphia. You can vote 5 times per day. Mariners.com/vote. Brian Wu, an all-star last year. And pretty close pitch, but that changeup just misses to Samuel Basayo. Just 1 hit over the first 4 innings against Wu. Two and 0. On the edge. Earlier today, Wu striking out 5 batters in a row, spanning parts of 3 different innings. That matched a career-long strikeout streak for Wu and was 2 shy of the franchise record. Big deep breath for this 2-1. Evens the count. If you go back to September of 2022, Luis Castillo struck out 7 consecutive White Sox batters. And the next year, in May of 23, Gilbert struck out 7 in a row facing the Rangers. That is the club record, done a number of times. Full count.
We decided if he was in the rocking chair.
Oh, during the 5 in a row?
Yeah.
That's a classic rocking chair definition.
You're off that day. We had a long discussion as to
really?
what constitutes rocking chair and being in it.
A little inside-out loop into somewhat shallow left field. Mastrobuoni is there. Now, this is my kind of discussion.
Okay.
Obscure baseball vernacular that could mean anything to almost anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then you're going to love this next little bit. I noticed that Mitch Garver's the lacing in his glove is a little bit different than what you normally see. You see that blue lacing right there? That is not leather. That is something called paracord. It is a nylon rope, and they've used it in all sorts of things in the past, like parachutes, etc.
Ooh, sliding catch, Mastrobuoni onto the warning track. A round of applause from Brian Wu.
It's like he lives out there. Again, he was out there early today taking fly balls, trying to nail down with EY the starting position that he should be in. Because again, they have these cards that tells them you're going to be this way or that way, in or back, depending on the hitter. But it's all based on where. What is the starting position? EY helping him establish that, and he had no room for error on that ball right there. Fantastic play by Miles Mastrobuoni.
And not to mention, too, the high sky in the middle of the day game. You got Robles bearing down on you, who's so aggressive on those plays.
Cowser, oh man, that ticked Brian Wu off of something and into center field. Wu seems unfazed. That was 100 miles an hour right back past Wu, who's smiling about it.
Loose is frightening. Good thing that Brian Wu's such a good athlete.
By the way, you can hear that when it zips past your head. I remember Travis Snyder hit one right back at me in Toronto just like that. And you can literally hear it just go
Yeah,
right past your head.
Lace is cutting through the wind, through the air.
I'll never forget, the big the scoreboard was right behind center field, and Kenji Jojima was catching hit. And as he's walking out to the mound, he wanted to give me some time because the whole crowd was like, whoa, because they knew how close it was to my head. And he was watching the replay on the screen. I'm looking at him, and then he's like, oh, he just kind of like, he shrieked down into a ball because he knew how close that was in HD.
Mastrobuoni keeps his feet this time. Everybody's swinging at the first pitch. We still need to know about that paracord. Third time through the order for Shane Baz.
To my knowledge, Cal Raleigh does not have paracord in his catcher's glove. It's a Mitch Garver thing, but it was not Mitch Garver's idea. He tells me that Zach Livingston, who is the catching coordinator for the Mariners, Zach now with Pittsburgh, but paracord doesn't stretch like leather does. A little bit stronger than leather. So you wouldn't know this. Like women, we all buy shoes hoping that the leather will stretch. But, you know, when you're throwing 100 miles an hour into a glove, that leather's going to stretch.
On the corner, 97 down and away. Cal strikes out for the third time facing Baz. So the idea that it'll make for a more durable glove.
Exactly, and you won't have that because catchers are constantly like pulling to try to create a pocket for their pitchers. And so you don't have the ball popping out. You want it sitting in there. There's the acoustics of the strike, all sorts of things. But having that paracord that doesn't stretch, you have the pocket, and it's going to be consistent every time.
Long backswing there from Naylor, checking in on Basayo to make sure he's all right. 0-1. I wonder, is it as long-lasting and durable as the leather?
Oh no, way more durable. Way more durable than the leather is. So I looked online because I'm not a big hiker or anything, and I've only parachuted once, but apparently, you know, it's this nylon thread is much more durable, but not necessarily meant to hold your weight in climbing. So I don't want to suggest anybody do that. I don't want to say paracord is stronger or better than it is, but it is much more durable than leather. And Mitch says, you know, he's had his glove like that for a long time, and it's just starting to fray just a little bit now.
Naylor, big bouncer up the middle. Henderson charges. 2 down. So this is not a new thing for Garver. Is that what you're saying?
It's not a new thing for Garver, but it's something that you don't often see. But you do see catchers all the time. Basically, like after a pitch, you'll see them yank on one of their leather strings to try to get it to tighten back up, to get the pocket to tighten back up. And Garver does not have to do that because he's got the paracord and it doesn't stretch, it doesn't move. Like the leather shoes I bought.
All right, so maybe the next wave in catcher accessories, the paracord.
And again, I don't think this is something that's necessary at the little league level in regards to, you know, getting something that's stronger than leather laces. But at this level, these guys need it.
Nothing in 2 on Dom Canzone, trying to extend a 7-game hitting streak. He walked and scored back in the first. A knee buckling curve, strike 3 called, and a 1-2-3 inning for Shane Boggs. Quick turnaround for Brian Wu, headed back out there. 6th inning, out of the zone even.
It's to be expected with Brian Wu in that 4-seamer, but you can tell how much he's got these Baltimore Orioles hitters thinking when he's getting swings at that 4-seam fastball that far out of the zone today. The velocity, by the way, is up on both this 4-seam fastball today and also his 2-seamer. His 2-seamer up over a mile per hour today.
Yeah, he's just been flooding the strike zone. That was a good pitch right there on the corner. Doesn't get paid off for it. Fastball up top once again. What we got going on up there? I got the Australian beach ball. With a Bobby Wagner fan. Right back and redirected over to Emerson. 1 down. All right, now you can see the guy that's got the beginning works of a beer snake going on and the bucket hat. This is what he did earlier.
Dear. Oh,
yes.
no, no, no. Get it off the screen. Gosh. You're not still in college, buddy. No.
Has to be fresh off the Qantas plane, let me tell you. Direct flight.
On a line, Masterboni's been a busy guy recently. A great job by our crew spotting that guy up there. Shades of Daniel Ricciardo, the famous F1 Australian driver who created the shoey after a big win. Drinking a beer out of his shoe that he just had on the gas pedal. Living right. No ill effects yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we got security making their way over to our shoey friend. Gunnar Henderson takes inside.
That's actually an usher I sent up there to say, look, after the game I want to meet you, hang out behind the plate, get acquainted.
You got your next interview on tap right there.
Right.
Is the kangaroo and kiwi still a thing?
It sure is, yes.
Okay.
Ballard, yes.
Yes. I bet it's going crazy right now.
Oh, yeah. They got a big weekend ahead, let me tell you, especially tomorrow. They got some, obviously, a viewing party there at noon. But, yeah, no, it's still a thing in Ballard, absolutely.
I was just thinking that's probably where you guys are going to meet up afterwards. So.
Upstairs, 96, set him down. Brian Wu, man, is he dealing today?
Seattle Mariners. Now, Aaron, on your day off, I got to read the copyright, and Rich Walsh said I did great, and I should do it again the next day, and then you guys booted me yesterday.
Well, to be clear, I am not a part of the copyright police. I have no say in the matter. I have no idea what we will do for the copyright day in and day out. In fact, I rarely read it anymore. I am along for the ride like everybody else. So I'm very pleased that you've been able to read it 2 times in 3 days. And if the trend continues, the Mariners will, well, I won't speak too soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
But game 1 went all right for the M's.
Yes. We don't like to say these things specifically, but I'm picking up what you're putting down.
But it is truly flattering that you would suggest that I have the power to influence what is done on a daily basis with our copyright, which is one of the bigger parts of the show. 2-2, and we've taken the copyright to new levels this year.
Really have.
Rick has read the copyright. Tom Hutler has done the copyright.
That was game 2. It was I didn't feel bad getting bumped for Hutler. Like, I was like, okay.
High lift, right field. How far will it carry at the wall? Man. Cole Young's not laughing. A couple feet shy.
They are really squaring up his knuckle curve. Now, he's gotten some weak contact and some swing and miss on that pitch too, but the lefties know that they're probably going to see that pitch, and they've been ready for it today.
Emerson taking inside. 1 out, nobody on. Emerson, a nice day so far. 2-run single and a walk.
And it was that single was on that knuckle curve.
As banged up as they are, Emerson up in the order recently.
All of a sudden, Julio's got a jersey on.
All right. Two and 2. Julio out of the lineup today. Rayleigh out of the lineup today. Of course, Randy on the IL.
He was taking ground balls out in left field. That's a good sign. They hope to get him back from the IL. Likely on time.
2 outs. You know, when I first was hired by the Mariners and I was still working out east in the minor leagues, the first interview I did on the radio with anyone related to the Seattle Mariners was I went on the radio with the great Tom Hutler. And I did not know Tom. I'd never heard his voice before. And the producer said, Aaron, we're coming back in 30 seconds with Tom Hutler. And I said, okay, great. And then Tom Hutler welcomed me to the radio program. Oh, what a catch on a liner by Henderson. And I thought this man has the voice of God. And we are so lucky that he is the voice of T-Mobile Park. One of a kind. Here's Adley Rutschman. Now, both pitchers have really been in a groove for Boz ever since that first inning. He's been pretty buttoned up, and the Mariners have sent the minimum to the plate the last 3 innings. And for Wu, he's been pitching with a 3-0 lead and hasn't hardly given up any traffic today to the Orioles.
Just a couple of hits. You see the 7 punch-outs and 0 walks. Just a great job of getting ahead of these Baltimore Orioles hitters all day today.
Oh. Rutschman pops back up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Still 1-2 on Rutschman, a two-time All-Star. Now Rutschman put on one of the great shows in the home run derby in recent years when the Mariners hosted the All-Star game, and he hit from both sides of the plate.
With Dad throwing. That was pretty cool. He's an incredible athlete, no doubt about it. Played football in college also at Oregon State. And you think about, you know, what he was able to do in high school. He kicked a 63-yard field goal. That is just absolutely nuts.
That is a real boot. 2-2. And didn't he have, there's that famous clip of Adley Rutschman tackling Christian McCaffrey
in college. That's what I was going to say. How many people can say, I tackled Christian McCaffrey in college, I booted a 63-yard field goal in high school, and my dad threw me batting practice in the home run derby? One of one right there.
Yeah, McCaffrey, the return man for Stanford at the time.
And he was the kickoff kind of specialist.
Strike three call. The challenge coming, but that looked like a really good pitch.
Pitch is a strike. Baltimore has one remaining.
A message now from Jack in the Box.
Get fired up with my new Hot Ones Munchie Meal with a Sriracha Curly Fry Burger or Buffalo Chicken Tater Melt.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
What an efficient day for Brian Wu. No more than 15 pitches in any single inning. Did take 7 pitches to get Rutschman there. His 8th strikeout victim. Here is Alonso.
Just at 71 pitches here. Pitch count in really good shape.
Starts him off strike one.
And, you know, Brian Wu is somebody who is so hard on himself. If you read his quotes from his last start, I mean, he was just like, I don't know what's happening. I'm tired of sucking. I'm tired of talking about it. And we were asking Dan Wilson about that, you know, why is he so hard on himself? And he says, you know, you have to kind of be that way. You have to hold yourself to a really high standard to be able to do what Brian Wu does, to be able to get to this level. But at the same time, you can get mad at, you know, what it ends up being, but you don't want to get too mad at things that you can't control.
A fierce competitor. And he gets Alonso on 3 pitches. Strikeout number 9 for Brian Wu.
This is excellent. We've been talking all day how good his four-seamer has been, but now all of a sudden you got him ready for that fastball, and he drops this sweeper in at 87 miles per hour, and his fastballs at 96, 97. You have to adjust to 86. Really, really tough to do with that going away from you as a hitter.
Only one time in his career double-digit strikeouts. A chance for that today. Strike one to Basayo. Only guy having more fun today than Brian Wu is the guy behind home plate catching him, Mitch Garver. Wu behind 2-1. Count evens. Wu has struck out the last 3 batters. Earlier today, he struck out 5 straight. Big deep breath for Brian Wu. Fires home. Jack Mactum.
Go back to those 5 strikeouts. 3 of them on the four-seam fastball. 1 on the sweeper, 1 on the slider. So it really gives you an idea of how he's been getting it done today in a lot of different ways.
Trying to finish him off here. On a 3-2. Ground ball. Naylor has it right to the bag. 7 shutout innings. Take a bow. Brian Wu has not walked a man. 9 strikeouts. Brilliance. All 3 runs belong to the Mariners today. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, do they blow it up once they get inside? Do they bring that through? They probably blow it up before they come inside. Be a lot of work. Might take 7 innings. Boz back up on the mound. 87 pitches and a first pitch strike to Victor Robles. Henderson has his come to him. 1 away. A message now from Papa Murphy's.
Great pizza doesn't have to cost a fortune. Summer selects at Papa Murphy's are just $8.99 all summer long. We make it fresh. You bake it hot. Papa Murphy's, the way pizza should be.
That's 11 in a row sat down by Boz. Mariners' last base runner was a Colt Emerson walk in the 3rd inning. Bullpen is up for Craig Albernaz. Rico Garcia. Drops in a curve for a strike. All 3 runs for the Mariners coming way back in the 1st inning. All of them coming with 2 outs. In fact, the Mariners' last hit was the 2nd inning.
You'd like to be able to add on, but early runs are the best runs.
Not much on either side, especially for Baltimore.
Just kind of looking at how Brian Wu has been getting it done. I mean, we just saw Alonso strike out last inning. First time Wu got him with the 4-seam fastball. In the 7th inning, next time he strikes him out, it's with the sweeper. And he's just doing a lot of different things, and whatever he's doing once to get somebody out, he's going with a new wrinkle the next time.
Over the plate, Masterboni is down swinging. 2 outs. Well, speaking of Brian Wu, whose pitch count's in good shape as we play in the bottom of the 7th, that bullpen for Dan Wilson is quiet right now. So it will be Wu in the 8th. Wu so far 80 pitches over 7 shutout innings, just 2 hits, no walks, and 9 strikeouts. A glistening line for the Mariners starter. Finds the corner, strike 1 to J.P. Crawford. Wu has recorded an out in the 8th inning just 1 time in his career. His career high is 7 1/3 innings. And by the looks of it, that would have been the near no-hitter, or for a while no-hitter in New York. That was last summer.
I just love to see it for him. After his last start again, he was just so frustrated. He needed to start like this.
Two and 1 to J.P. Crawford. Two and 2. If J.P. can reach, Cal Raleigh would bat next. And you wonder if that would prompt a move for Rico Garcia. 97 pitches for Boz. Trying to get on the same page with his young catcher, Basayo. And still rushing it in there at 98 miles an hour here in the 7th inning. Lofted in the air out to left field. Ward settles underneath it to retire the side. Boz, 7 innings, just the 3 runs, but all coming in the first inning. The Mariners and Brian Wu taking the lead onto the 8th.
Seamer, none off the 2-seamer today, but a couple off the sweeper and the slider as well. But I love seeing those 4-seam fastballs, 12 inches up above the strike zone and still getting swing and miss on them.
Into center field for a base hit. Leody Taveras sets the table for the Orioles. The bullpen just got up for the Mariners. Pitch count is in very good shape for Wu, but it will become a question as to whether or not Dan Wilson will want to make a move with traffic, and especially if it gets closer to the top of the order. Spire and Bizzardo both getting loose.
It took both these guys a little bit to get loose, right? You don't want a situation here where within a couple of minutes, all of a sudden you got some serious traffic against Brian Wu in this 8th inning. He's got to be ready to go, but he has been cruising this entire game.
Taveras takes off right away. This finds the backstop. And all of a sudden, that single looks like a double. Taveras is in there.
Yeah, this is where it's been tough for Brian Wu this year. The runners in scoring position has not been the same as it was last year. Last year hitting under 200. He's had some struggles this year with traffic.
Yeah, opponents hitting over 400 with runners in scoring position. It's not where he wants to be in the league average as well in regards to positioning there, but let's see if he can work around it. The whole key today has been the Orioles not getting in scoring position.
A good pitch there, no challenge, and ruled a ball. 2-0. Mariners have both challenges still. Orioles with 1 as we begin the 8th inning. Colton Cowser at the plate, number 7 hitter. Trying to go upstairs again. 3-0. You've got a lot of lefty bats in this order for the Orioles. You have 4 right-handed hitters on the bench for Craig Alvarez. Both a lefty and a righty warming for the Imps. So things could get kind of interesting in terms of some decision making here in the 8th inning. It's one of those games where the Mariners have felt like they've been in such command because of the way the Wu has been pitching, but the tying run is on deck. There's a strike. Wu gets back into the count. 97 in on the hands. It's 3-2.
Yeah, good pitch right there, getting back in the count. That's a pitch he, as good as his fastball's been, that sinker in to left, he's been a little inconsistent today.
Taveras runs well. He's at second. And now time call after Wu stepped off and went through a couple of options there at the pitch comp with Mitch Garver. Cowser 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. Everybody ready now. The 3-2. Rushing at home at 98.
I was interested to see what Brian Wu settled on in that count. 3-2, what he wanted to throw after he shook off Mitch Garver a few times, and it was that sinker. Great velocity on that pitch today.
Naylor fighting the sun. Where will this land? Naylor out of room. It's into the crowd. So somewhat lengthy at bat here for Cowser. Next pitch will be number 8. Trying to put him away here on a 3-2. Does he? No, he does not. 98 upstairs.
Obviously, the hope there was that they would get the swing and miss, go with the four-seam fastball, see if he could get him to chase. That's a hard spot to get your barrel to, up and in. But what it does do with runners on first and second now, it does set up the double play. And Blaze Alexander, who we think is hitting, at least he is right now, is hitting to 5 of them.
A masterful day for Brian Wu. He exits to a standing ovation inside T-Mobile Park.
At home, but has had some rough starts lately. He got the one walk there at the end, but his swing and miss stuff was fantastic. You see all the strikeouts he was able to rack up today.
Blaze Alexander, the batter. Edward Bizzardo is the new pitcher on the mound. He inherits a couple of runners. Our Muckleshoot Casino Resort pin report. Bizzardo pitching, inheriting runners at first and second, making his 35th appearance this year. Now, he has been so good with inherited runners this season, but it's a tough spot here. First and second, nobody out. On the ground, Emerson gets to it, throws to third. Crawford is right there at the bag.
You get the ground ball you wanted, and you really hope that they would be able to turn two, but this ball takes Colt Emerson towards third. J.P. Crawford on the bag to at least get that lead runner and get the out. But you know why the Mariners, wanted to go with Edward Bizzardo in this. He's so good at getting that right there, that ground ball. 13 holds that leads the Mariners relievers this year.
The unusual 6-5 putout.
Yeah.
1 down, 2 on. Holiday showing bunt and spinning around, takes inside.
He's been swinging it much better this last week or so. Jackson Holiday, this is a tough out. Elected to show bunt.
Does he go? Yes, he does. Garver able to pancake that one, keep it in front of him. 2 balls and a strike. Tying run Holiday is at the plate.
Now you figure this is Bizzardo, Jackson Holiday, then take on Ward, and then Gabe Spire ready for Gunnar Henderson if the inning continues.
Spire's been up in the pen. Emerson,
the
sun is in Robles' eyes. He can't see it, and he ends up with it as Mastroboni comes crashing in. What in the world just happened?
Great job by Mastroboni coming over, realizing that Victor Robles was in trouble. But also, Victor Robles, this is what you want to do. You're burning out your rods and cones in your eye, looking up at the sun, knowing that if I just keep looking and I keep adjusting my glove, maybe it will come out, and it does at the last moment.
He's saying, I can't see it, and then he's able to pick it up. They collide. Gloves collide with one another, but Robles is able to hold on. Man.
But amazing speed by Miles Mastroboni to get over there. If Victor hadn't picked it back up, his glove would not have been there, and Mastroboni's would have been there in time. Great job by Miles Mastroboni.
And you have a split second right there too. If you're Miles Mastroboni, you actually get underneath that ball. The instinct kind of says to you, let's hang and see if he actually picks up the ball in the air and then potentially get behind him. But then he just decided to run straight into him. What an amazing play. Just goes to show how tough that play was he made on the warning track early in this game. Because it is tough to see down here at field level.
Well, now you've got the tie-in run at the plate and their leadoff man Taylor Ward. Tough out. 2 outs, 2 on. Now Bizzardo came on with runners at first and second and nobody out. Trying to protect the line for Wu and keep the Orioles off the board. 1-2. He struck him out. 97 up and away. He locks up Taylor Ward. Edward Bizzardo.
Other way for a double, and it's Cole Young and Colt Emerson, the middle infield duo for the next decade or so, getting it done today with all 3 RBIs.
All 3 runs coming in the first inning. Mariners would love to add on a little bit more here. Cal Raleigh leads it off. Rico Garcia is on the mound. Takes over for Boz. 2-0. Now Garcia having an incredible year. Former 30th round pick. This is being challenged and looked like he was able to pin that into the lower outside corner.
Pitch is a strike. Baltimore has 1 remaining.
Good challenge by the Orioles. 2-1 instead of 3-0. Pulls the string on a changeup. In the dirt, full count to Cal, beginning the Mariners' bottom of the 8th. Naylor and Canzone to follow. Strike 3 called, a curveball. I'm not sure if that's where Garcia wanted it to end up, but it certainly works out for him. That is a maybe ABS era only strike 3 call. I don't know.
Either way, that's just so hard for Cal Raleigh to do anything with.
I mean, you're standing up there and you're seeing a curveball above your helmet. There's no way you're moving the bat forward on that, right?
Right, and it's starting so far off the plate away as well. He just drops it in there high and away and just go, okay.
You know, that kind of pitch was, I think, one of the first things that was in question when the talk of the ABS was coming around was, could a pitcher learn and perfect the skill? This ball is ripped into center field. It caught there for round number 2. Could a pitcher perfect the skill of flipping a breaking ball at the upper rail of the strike zone, especially upper outside corner, where you know nobody's going to swing at that? And can you repeat that time and again? And
again, because it is measuring it halfway through the plate. So yeah, you're thinking it depends on really where you stand too as a hitter. You're thinking, are you kidding me? That can't be a strike.
Here's Canzone with 2 outs.
There's a lot of hitters that have made careers in this league on the fact that a pitcher cannot repeat a breaking ball over and over and over again and drop it in for a strike.
Swinging bunt, Garcia to first in time. He retires the side in order. We march on to the 9th inning. The Mariners 3 outs away from a series win, leading 3-0. Andres Munoz. You guys are looking the wrong way. Our Overlake Medical Center scoreboard. Mariners in front 3-0. Yeah, Team Australia, we got something going on up there. Makings of a beer snake. And who knows what else. What a day inside T-Mobile Park.
Ow, that beer snake has really come along since the last time we checked on it.
So it's Andres Munoz who has the 9th. The Mariners 3 outs away from a series win.
Talked to Andres Munoz about his velocity, and he said I saw the first one. First one was 99. And I said, so you didn't see the 101? He said, no, I missed the 101. Once I saw 99, I knew I was good. He said, the worst thing that happens to me is I think I'm throwing hard, and all of a sudden I look over the radar gun and it's 96. He said, so he said, you really hate it when that happens, but it looks like things have rectified itself in regards to his back, and he's been feeling good. His velo's back.
You're referring to game 1 of the series?
Yes. Hit 100, 101 on the radar gun. Slider was sharp. And Cal Raleigh just happened to be back.
Munoz picking up the save in game 1. Trying to do the same here in the series finale. He threw 7 pitches, to your point, at 100 miles an hour or greater. That's the most triple-digit fastballs he's thrown in any outing this year. It was great to see, especially after his previous outing. 99, 3-2. Big bats in the order for the Orioles in this 9th inning. Gunnar Henderson leading it off. Walked him. A slider that backed up and was well outside the zone. Henderson is aboard. They've got Rutschman and then Alonso. Not the start that Munoz wanted. Slider low, ball 1. Naylor, Crawford, and now Cal. That's a pretty good trio.
I like the fact that Josh Naylor was first, you know, just to initiate that, and then Mitch Garver was thinking, I guess I have to come out there as well, but Josh Naylor always seems to have the right thing to say.
There has been struggle this year for Munoz, and what we just witnessed has probably happened more than he would like to admit.
Agreed. And it just seems like so much of that hinges, you know, I talked about the velocity coming out, and that's important, but it's that slider, and it's the command of that slider.
Whatever they said worked.
101. I hope he took a peek over at the radar gun just to let him know where he is.
Missing in with triple digits, 2-1. Bouncing ball up the middle. Emerson. He gets the out, and it hits Rutschman. He is hit by the throw. There is one out. Henderson is out going to second, but Rutschman, oh man, you hate to see that. And Emerson was kind of in that in-between state trying to get the tag on. Let's take a look at the full sequence.
Well, and I know that Colt, once he goes to make that tag, he's got to hurry. But Josh Naylor does not have a lot of time to react to this throw. Colt Emerson throwing from full distance has got a cannon, and this is really hard to react to. Oh dear.
Well, you had the tag, but then it looked like a double clutch or a bobble from Emerson trying to make the transfer into his bare hand.
Well, this was a good angle to see at least, and it looked like it got the helmet.
Now they will run for Rutschman. Jeremiah Jackson. Well, you hate to see that happen to any player, especially a guy as meaningful and valuable to their ball club as a Rutschman. They do get a speed upgrade over at first base. Quite frankly, they might have run for him regardless. He's been dealing with a hamstring issue. But you don't want to see that be the way that a player has to leave the game. Alonso takes inside. One out, one on, 3-0 the lead in the top of the 9th inning. Bouncy ball. Crawford in on the grass, slings to first. 2 outs. Jackson into second on the play.
Ball hits dirt, and whether you're at shortstop or third base, the same thing is true. You got to come in. You got to break in right away when that ball hits dirt. If that hits that dirt area right out in front of home plate, J.P. Crawford knows that well at shortstop and does it over there at third.
Samuel Basayo at the plate. He takes outside. Ball 1 to every batter so far for Munoz here in the 9th, but he's 1 out away from slamming the door. They appeal. He does not go. It's 2-0. Back-to-back sliders here. Sprays a fastball. Is the bottom line you have to earn the chase?
Yes. If you know that this guy isn't landing his fastball, I'm just not going to go after it. If I know he's not, landing his slider in the strike zone, I can just eliminate that pitch. And if you're Munoz and you got 2, I mean, you really need both.
Well, the Orioles with 1 challenge left.
Pitch is called a strike. The batter challenger.
And it looks as though they will be out of challenges here. And might as well give it a shot here in the 9th inning. Down to their final out. And that is a strike.
Baltimore's out of challenger.
3-1 now. It is off the plate at 101, and the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Leody Taveras. This has not been a sharp inning. A couple of walks and not a single first pitch strike.
I can't imagine the Baltimore Orioles are going to be too aggressive on the base pass here. Runners on first and second. You need 3 here. But Mitch Garver going out there and making the call in regards to if they're going to get the lead runner, the trail runner, if they do decide to steal.
Taveras takes outside for ball 1. Two outs, 2 on. Count evens.
That's the Mariners' mantra to win that first strike, to get that 0-1. But next important, win the 1-1. This pitch right here.
And he won it. Throws a slider right over the plate, and now Munoz in the driver's seat, and the Orioles down to their final strike. On a 1-2. He got him! The Mariners win, and they hand the Orioles their first shutout loss of the year. The Mariners take the series 2-1.
This was huge. The Mariners have been trying to win their last 3 series all on the road. They weren't able to do it. They finally take a series against the Orioles, a team they hadn't won a series against since 2022. And congratulations to Dan Wilson, who picks up his 150th career win as manager.
Now Munoz able to lock it in there, those last couple of pitches. And the Mariners pitching combines to hold the Orioles scoreless on just 3 hits. The Mariners getting all 3 runs in the first inning, and those runs hold up. And they take the series.
You brought up the fact that the Orioles had not been shut out all season long. Brian Wu was absolutely fantastic. The bullpen came in and slammed the door. And they were the last team in baseball that hadn't been shut out. So the Mariners check the last remaining team off the list in Major League Baseball.
And what a nice way to begin the homestand for the Mariners, taking this series. And the Mariners continue to be one of the best teams in baseball since the late days of May, when that 8-game winning streak began.
The thing that we're seeing right now, and we may need to continue to see it longer, is which bats are going to get it done for the Mariners. Today it's Cole Young, it's Colt Emerson, with all of the injuries that the Mariners have had to their big bats.
Yeah, that's the thing. It just can't be overlooked. For them to take a series against anybody with as shorthanded as they are, the Mariners felt the effects of that certainly on the road trip and were able to limit